Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show. Who are you? It is Friday, and we always say, thank God it is Friday. The week has been long, and we have overcome it. We've gone through the week with all the issues, with all the things that we love to do as much as we love to do them. But it is time to take a break and get other things done and just enjoy the weekend. So, welcome all, wherever you are watching from, live or replay. Please throw in a comment on the messages so that we can see who was watching, who is watching, and where they're watching from. Today we are in the States, and we have a very, very interesting discussion today. We are going to be talking about lifestyle and how to, make your passion become a lifestyle and enjoy it. Our guest is Chris Aderson, and Chris is a success and lifestyle coach, and he helps individuals who are stuck to build a profitable life of fulfillment around their passion. So it's not just having a passion to walk around with it, but it's a passion that you can use it to benefit you and to, use it as a purpose-filled life to be able to serve your community. So without ado, I will just bring it up and then we can start our show. So hello, hello, hello.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Beautiful day.
Super, super. Welcome to my show. Who are you? Thank you so much that you accepted to be here. Thank you already so much, because I know that we are going to have a lot of valuable information, whether we are watching live or we'll be watching at a later time. I'm very sure that there's so many people who would really love how they can change their success story, how they can be able to live their lifestyle, turning their passion into that lifestyle that they're looking at. So before I take all of your introduction, because we want to get a lot about you from you, tell us who you are. Introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do what you do? And who is your audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I'm Chris Aderson, success and lifestyle coach from the States here in Indiana. So born and raised country, field, farms everywhere. So never shied away from hard work, but realize that sometimes you can work smarter and not harder. Mm-hmm. And you can do it around what you're good at, your passions. And so what got me to building Pencil Leadership, which is my podcast and business, was having conversations with people who were unfulfilled, who weren't really aligned with their passions, and being able to help them put pieces together, strategies in place, processes to take their passion and make it into a business online. And so growing an audience, marketing, creating an offer, things of that nature. So I started real broad. And I learned quickly from my mentors and coaches that we need to narrow in. So I was trying to figure out who I wanted to narrow in on, and settled on other coaches. So I wanted to help people who are trying to help people. So if I can help the coaches increase their businesses online, bring in more clients, one, they're going to be fulfilled, and then the people they're helping, they're going to get the benefit. And so it's almost like I have a hand in all their clients, because if I help them, they're going to be able to help more people, and we're going to be able to leave a bigger mark on the world. So I narrowed in to coaches that are trying to start an online business.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
So Chris, and I just love the way you put it, that when you started big, but then you had to work to narrow down to who you really wanted to serve. And particularly in that statement, there are so many people who are stuck, and you have this passion, you have this idea, you are a coach, and you feel like you have a lot of things that you've been doing, whether you've been giving people advice, whether it is in your workplace, relationship, wherever it is, but you find like you are in a broad range. How do you help these kind of coaches to streamline to exactly a particular niche? Because sometimes it is a very tricky thing.
It is. Yeah, you're absolutely right with that. And so what we have to do is, first, we have to understand what problem needs to be solved. and focus on that. So mine is my main problem with coaches is they're wanting more clients. They want to help more people. And so we really focus on that. Now, the rest of my program is a holistic program. It touches on many different things, but all kind of streamlines, funnels to getting more clients, be able to help more people. So you got to figure out that one problem that is in your market. And to figure out your market, you just got to figure out who do you want to help? Who do you resonate with the most? So if you're looking to help people with health and wellness, like are you a mother? Are you someone in the corporate world? And so then you start to piece that together, what that ideal client will look like.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're able to figure out what that one person's main problem is. And when you go deep and specific, you're going to be able to really target that group a lot easier. You're going to be able to then grow your audience a little bit easier. You're going to be able to find that ideal client a little bit easier because you're not having all these pieces that you're going to try to find. You're going to be laser focused. And so really focusing on what your strengths are. So are you good at increasing your audience, or are you good, putting that pieces together where then that can hone your offer and hone your market even more?
So, Chris, walk us through your journey. How did you come to become a coach? Is it something that you always wanted to be, or is it something that came about because of something else? What triggered you into becoming a coach?
Yeah, it's a little in-depth story, and I'll try to keep it high level. But coming out of high school here in the States, going into college, I had a couple things going on. I had back surgery for one, so I had to have a spinal fusion to repair that. So I was 6 months recovery from that surgery, coming out of high school, going into college, into a new environment. So physically was healing, and then mentally was dealing with a lot of things going on that was just negative mindset. Didn't see my self-worth to the point of suicidal thoughts and things of that nature. Just not want to be around. So I was going into college physically and mentally, emotionally, kind of broken down, and had to start rebuilding. And thankfully, the Lord brought people into my life who really spoke positivity, guided me as mentors, and started helping me see my worth was more than a worldly title, more than what the world could label me as, whatever that is. And so I saw myself as more than that. So it didn't matter if I lost some friends, if I lost a career, like I always knew that I was meant for more than just a job. And so going through college, I went for athletic training. So I wanted to take care of athletes. I wanted to help them stay healthy and then rehabilitate if they were to get injured, because I'd been in sports all my life. I'd been injured, and I wanted to help people. That was my ultimate thing. And I said, okay, all this fits. That's my target market, like athletes, helping them improve. And so started into that career field. And it was not real long after I started doing that I realized, like, I like this, but I'm not aligned with what I'm created to do, what my passions truly are. And so it took a good while for me to finally figure out what that was. And I actually did high school athletic training for about 4 years and then moved into industrial athletic training. So I worked in one of the biggest car manufacturing plants here in the States, helping the factory workers increase their health and wellness habits and processes in their lives. But I was getting to the point where I was like, all right, there's something else. There's something more that I want to do with my life. And I started really intrinsically looking at what my strengths were. What have I enjoyed? And I realized that what really brought me energy was, even in the high school setting, having conversations with the student athletes or then in industrial with the factory workers were, why are you doing what you're doing? Or why do you want to do that out of high school? What are your passions? Well, that's not my passion, but that just seems like a good job. Or, well, I've been doing this for 30 years, well, was that what you always wanted to do, was work on a factory? Well, no, I wanted to do that. I'm like, then why not? Like, that's where your strength is. That's where you find joy. and your energy comes from, why not do that? And so being able to have those conversations and then start guiding and advising those individuals on things they could do to start building that into their life. It fueled me. I get so excited when I talk to people about their dreams and their passions, and like you could do that. Like, you see where this go. Like, I get so excited. Sometimes I'm like, hey, they're not always on the same level. Calm down. But that's what I realized. It clicked. And I said, I got to help people do that, because we're created with, and that's what Pencil Leadership part of it is. We're created with a purpose, a unique purpose. And if we're not following that purpose, then we're not only missing out, but the people that we're meant to help are missing out too. And so we have an obligation, almost a duty, to follow our passions and our purpose, so we make and leave a positive mark on the world.
And it's quite interesting how your journey began, because you went through a process before you could really get your hands on what you really wanted to do. But again, looking at that particular point where, after your injury, your surgery, and just seeing so many people coming closer to you, supporting you, affirming you, and kind of opening your eyes to who you really are, and like listening to what the world was saying. How was it for you to have this revelation, to have this clarity of who you are and what you're capable of?
It's crazy. It was just a crazy shift, understanding like the power, the potential that's within me. And that's within everybody, all your listeners. Like, if you're struggling right now, not knowing like where you fit in or what you're meant to do, that's okay. You're not alone. Like, it's there. It just takes a little bit prying, a little bit of digging to figure that out. And then understanding, like, you can do that. You can start a business, whatever it is. There's possibility for it. I guarantee you there's possibility for it. It could be the most abstract thing, but there's probably very few things that couldn't be marketable in a business. So that's why I like to encourage people, like, there's always room. Maybe it's not going to be a multi-million-dollar a month thing, but something you could live off of and enjoy a nice life of time and money, financial freedoms. So
that's it. And I really love the way you've put it, that there is room for everybody, and anybody can do it. And it is about digging deeper to find out what is that one thing. And it might not be that you will become a multi-millionaire, but it's something that you can live off with a free life. You can have the freedom to travel, to do the things that you want to do. You have the freedom of not being confined into something that doesn't bring joy to you, doesn't satisfy you in life. And I really like that, because, we will just take a short break, and when we come back, we will pick it up from there, because it is very interesting for many people to know and to understand, in our life today. And like at this point where everybody is talking about, you can have an online business, you can be an entrepreneur. Some people are thinking wild of, when will I become that multimillionaire? When will I get that that much money that I can be able, people will really know that I'm an entrepreneur. But they forget it's not about the money that is coming in. It's about the fulfillment. And we are going to get back on that after this short break, so that we can understand for you in your own terms, how do you look at this when you go out talking to your clients?
Yeah.
Hello, welcome back to the show. This is Who Are You? I am your host, Dr. Leah, and our guest today is Chris Aderson from Indiana State. So we have been talking about, how Chris became a coach. Chris is a success and lifestyle coach. He helps individuals to realize their passion and turn it into monetizing, as we say, many people say you monetize your purpose or your dreams, your desire, wherever, however you want to put it. And Chris has talked to us about how he became, his journey to becoming a coach. And he has pinpointed very important points that before we went for break, I wanted to that he emphasizes for us, and how he feels and how he handles, the thoughts that many people have out there about being an entrepreneur, what it means to be an entrepreneur or having a business online, and understanding that it is not about the millions, it is not about the billions, it is about finding purpose, finding a lifestyle and freedom to live that life that you've always wanted to live and not being confined. So talk to us a little bit about that part, Chris.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's so much room to be an entrepreneur in the world. There's an abundance out there, and so I think that's the first part. But then you have to remember that entrepreneurship, it's hard. We don't have to sugarcoat it. It will be hard. It takes a lot. And there's a lot of growth. There's a lot of, especially at the start, there's a lot of learning. There's a lot of up and downs, and that's part of it. And so you got to remember going into it that you're not going, even if it is like to get to $1 million a year or whatever it is, like that does not happen overnight. You see these successful entrepreneurs out there, but what you don't see is like the 6 to 7 years of them just grinding, trying to get things going to get to that monetization level. They might have been able to live off of it, but so when you're starting, you make money, take what you need to live off of, but the rest should invest back into your business. That's the thing. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to scale, and then it's going to be a lot harder. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. They're like, "Oh, I'm making money, I'm going to take it all," but you've got to invest back in the business so then it can grow easier. But yeah, there's so much room. Like I can't say it enough that if you have a passion with the right help, with the right guidance, you can create a life around that. You can have a life around that. There's people who monetize crocheting, knitting, like they have a community and they're making very good money from it. There's something for anyone. And that's where it goes to specific dialing in of your target market. It just goes back to that, and then presenting it. There's different pieces to it, but the ability to do it is there.
Oh yes. That is very good. The ability to do it is there, and it is just about finding that place that you fit in and the niche that you want to serve. Chris, talk to us about pencil leadership. What is pencil leadership, and how did you come to pencil leadership?
For sure. Yeah. So that's again, the name of my podcast and my business. When I was trying to figure out a name, I wanted to make it mean something. And so my faith, I was like, how does Jesus teach people? And he does it in parables. And so stories that are relatable, that you can picture, so you remember the message. And so I was trying to figure out some of these, looking some up, and I came on the story of a pencil maker. And that's what it stems from. And if it's okay to share, I will.
Yes, please.
So the pencil maker, there's 5 traits of pencil leadership. So this pencil maker, he has just finished creating this pencil, and he's going to ship it off to its new owner for its life of writing and note taking and everything. And first, though, the pencil maker wants to tell the pencil these 5 things. The first one is, he tells the pencil, listen, you have a purpose, and it's to leave a mark, but you cannot do that without being held. You cannot do that without being guided to write. And so like that, we cannot fulfill our purpose, cannot reach our destiny by ourselves. We have to have mentors. We have to have coaches and guides directing us, because if not, we're not going to be able to leave the best mark. And so that's the first one. The second one, the pencil maker told the pencil, was that, listen, right now, you don't have a point. You're not sharp. So you're going to have to go through sharpenings. And these sharpenings, they're going to hurt. They're not going to feel very good, and they're going to take part of you away. Each sharpening is going to reduce yourself. But these sharpenings are going to be moments that create a point and allow you to leave a more efficient mark. And we know life is not easy. We go through hard times. Right now, a lot of people are going through hard times. But being able to see the positive in the hard times, be grateful through the hard times, we can learn and grow from those. So we're able to leave a better mark. So we're able to mentor others through their hard times. So that's the second. The third trait the pencil maker told the pencil was that you also have an eraser. And this eraser has its purpose because you are not perfect and you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make marks where you're not intending to leave one, but you always have the purpose and the ability to erase those and learn from them. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes every day, but thankfully I'm able to work on fixing those mistakes, learning from them and growing so I don't make the same mistake again. And so we all can do that. The fourth trait the pencil maker told the pencil was, listen, you look great right now. You're brand new. You don't have any nicks or dings. You're not beat up or scuffed up, but that's going to change throughout life because you're going to go through things. But don't worry. And also don't worry what the pen or the paintbrush says about you because you look different than they. But what you got to remember is the lead on the inside, that's what leaves your mark. And that's the most important thing. So remember that. And in our lives, we're all different. But it's what's on our inside. It's our heart. It's our integrity, our character. That's what comes forth and leaves our mark on the world and those that we influence. So we have to be really vigilant about what our heart looks like because that's going to come forward and leave our mark. And the last trait the pencil maker told the pencil was that you are created with a specific purpose. You're made with the eraser, with lead to leave a mark. And you can leave a mark on so many different surfaces. But the pen and the paintbrush, the pen might say, well, why don't you write in ink? Or the paintbrush, why aren't you being able to paint with beautiful colors? But you can leave a mark on certain surfaces that they cannot. And so in life, again, we all have special abilities and talents and strengths that only we have that combination for. And so as we're going through life, we have a purpose to leave a positive mark the only way that we're able to, that no one else can. And so not to forget that when someone might look down on you, or maybe they don't understand what you're doing. And so those are the 5 traits of pencil leadership. And that's what I wanted my podcast, my business to encompass, because no matter what, we influence, no matter what level we're at, where we are, we have influence over those who listen to us, who are around us. And so if we can follow those 5 traits, we can make a huge impact in the world. And the same through my coaching. That's what I wanted to do. I want to make an impact in these lives of coaches who want to make a difference. And so that's pencil leadership. That's where it stemmed from and what it means.
Wow. I it's awesome how pencil leadership has brought everything into perspective, because pencil is not something everybody values, because you use a pencil, but many a times people use a biro.
Yep.
And all the ball pens, those expensive ones. Somebody says, this one I really want to write with it so that everybody can see. And just the traits that you've given about the pencil, how it works together, and how life really works together. We all work together and understand it. And what I loved most is how, when you say the pencil needs sharpening.
Yep.
And it brought me immediately, to the word of God where it says iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
And so, when we are sharpening each other, we are growing together, and we are learning that, the mistakes we make, there are people who already made those mistakes. They learned and they grew.
Yep.
And when we learn also from them as well, we learn and we grow, and we are able to teach it to somebody else. They learn and they grow. And it enables us to know that we are not always alone. We're not the only ones who make mistakes. We all have something that we made wrong, things we did wrong, things we never knew how to do. And we all learn, just like the babies, they're born, they crawl, they learn how to walk, They learn how to start going to the toilet. They learn how to
Yep.
dress up by themselves until one day they become a mature man or a woman and they stand out and they say, now I am capable of doing this and that.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful how you've put, and then also about our heart and the integrity and the character that we carry with what we do. It speaks more about who we are as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, the abilities that we have to leave a mark everywhere we go. Because they say wherever you step, the way you carry yourself there depends on what will people say, what mark did you leave at that place? Did you come in and brought value, brought some positiveness? Did you bring something that people will look and say, wow, I want to do that and better? Or will they say, I don't want to be there?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, just that part also really resonated with me so much. And it's awesome how you've just aligned them, because I think in so many ways people don't understand what purpose in life is all about. It's not always about us. It's about the fulfillment that we are supposed to fulfill with that purpose.
Yeah.
Tell us how you work with your clients. For example, somebody comes in. How do you work with them when they say, okay, this is who I am. This is what I have. This is who I think I want to do. I want to help people who are, struggling in relationships, struggling in this and that. How would you set up a program for them?
Yeah, so that's a neat thing. So I have a couple different programs. So I have one-on-one coaching, so that's specifically tailored to the individual, and we hit on whatever their kind of main areas that need strengthening are. And then I have my group course, which is really tailored towards new coaches or fresh coaches who are just kind of getting started, who kind of need a good foundation. It's a holistic program that covers the 3 pillars to success, which are health, purpose, and wealth. And so with that, they get information, and then a call a week that we dig into and answer questions and really uncover things and give them good direction. But with the one-on-one coaching, the tailored program, it's basically digging into finding out more about them, what their purposes are, what their goals are, helping them even find their purpose and passion so they can begin building something. And it's a really intensive, accountability filled program that really, I don't sugarcoat things. Like if they're not taking the action they need to, I'm like, hey, listen, is it really what you want? Like, is this really, you say you want this, why are we taking the action? So it's not a let's all feel nice and everything. We want action. We want change. The person's coming for change and they want results. So we've got to hold accountable. But yeah, I offer those two specifically right now, depending on the people's position, where they're at, and where I feel that they're going to be a best fit and get the most value from.
Awesome. Chris, talk to us about one of your success story. There is always this one particular success story where somebody says, this one I will never forget, where you have a client, they come in, you look at the situation and you say, okay, where do I start? Where do I end? But then in the long run, there is that effect where you see the changes and you say, yes, I truly believe this is what I am called to do. And I find satisfaction when I see what is happening. Of course, there are a lot of success stories, but there is this one particular one. And how did it make you feel?
Man, that's a good question, because like you said, there are a lot, and I find joy out of a lot of them and what they've accomplished. And that's a really good question. It's hard to narrow down to one. I would say one would have to be, I would say the majority of them fall around the same kind of answer, is being able to see someone with their idea, with that passion. Like you can tell, you can see it in their eyes, you can hear it in their voice when they're talking, but you also can tell that the confidence is just not there. And that's low. And being able to walk them through the steps, the processes to build that confidence in themselves, to see themselves in that position, and then seeing them take the action and start getting the results within their own business. Those are the success stories. So for example, for one, it was actually the one that sticks out most. It's crazy because it wasn't an online coach. He wanted to start a food truck.
Wow.
But he wanted, because he had, it was connected to his father. And so it was really like an emotional type win. And then seeing the results and just seeing it continue to grow and seeing it expand and get out there to more people. And so his dad's name lives on because his dad's passed. And then seeing him get the success and the fulfillment from it, that was a really cool one, I think, just because of that emotional connection that you could see. But yeah, I think in general, just taking someone and just getting them through those fear barriers so they can build that confidence and then to just start seeing the results so they can do the same with their clients would be just kind of in general. I love seeing people get that confidence and just grab it by the hands and just go with it. That's always a success for me, because when you have the confidence to be able to do those actions, you're going to start getting the results then.
Awesome. And I also like the way you said having, the interest in getting those actions done, because at the end of the day, it depends on the actions that the person is taking. It depends on the steps that the person is taking, because only that way you will begin to see the changes that you want to see, and you begin to grow gradually with the changes as well. So tell us, what is your legacy?
Oof, man, another good question. My legacy. So Pencil Leadership's goal is to impact at least 1 million lives by leaving a positive mark. My legacy, though, would be to be a part of a change that helps individuals see their worth outside of what the world labels them as, for them to know that they have so much more potential. And the ability to really make a difference in their circle of influence. I would say that's what I hope my legacy is just, being known, having Pencil Leadership known for bringing hope and bringing clarity to people's worth and passions.
Awesome. If today you are, let's say you are standing in a crowd of 10,000 and half of these people are desiring to start something new, what would be your first 5, let's say, motivation was that you tell these people who are, they want to take the step, but they still have something that is holding them back. They get excited about everything, but they have something that is holding them back. What would be your 5 points, 5 advice?
Yeah, the 5 things I would tell them was first figure out what's holding you back. Dig in there and figure out what that block is. And then once you figure out what that block is, we need to start taking action either around that, through that, or just over that. It might always be there. You might have the fear of speaking in front of people or speaking on camera, but if that's what's holding you back and you figure it out, and then you just start taking action where you do short things, videos to overcome or just to do it, that'll be the next one. So figure out what that block is, start taking action to get through that or get around that block, and then continue to work on yourself. That'd be the third one, because we can only do so much based on where we're at. So if I was to stop learning, if I was to stop asking and seeking counsel, I would just plateau and I'd be here, and the number of people that I'd be able to reach would stop as well. And so always continue to learning and work on yourself. And then the fourth would be add value. Just add value however you can with whatever your specific market and ability to help others is. Just keep adding it. Give, because you can only receive once your hand's open in giving. So you have to be able to give first before you can receive. So add value would be the fourth. And the last one would be persist until you succeed. It's from the book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. Persist until you succeed, because things, they're not going to be easy. They're not going to be just a smooth ride all the time. So you have to persist. You have to persist through those moments. So persist until you succeed.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Those are very beautiful points that you've given us there. And I really like the way, what you said about add value in your space, add value, because the more you add value, the more you are able to reap. Because many people think that when I give, I'm just, being used, but it's always, you can only receive and you can only give what you've received. Because when you give, you are opening yourself to receive some more so that you can also give. Like they say, you're being blessed to be a blessing to the many people.
Yeah.
Because that is actually the purpose. God's will is that he blesses us to be a blessing. And it's the way we walk in life. It's the way we talk, the things we do in life, regardless of who is in our surrounding, what they think about us or not think about us, we continue to fulfill that calling, that purpose as we go out, because you're bringing value and you leave it there and you move on to the next. Because you don't have to you don't have to have people say thank you for what you did, but you just have to see how they grow. Because when they grow, you grow, and you're adding value. Whether they say thank you or not, they are growing, you're adding value, you're moving on, and they will also be able to add value into other spaces. So thank you so much. Tell us how people can find you when they really want to get in with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anyone wants to reach out, has questions about anything, feel free to. At Instagram's my biggest one, and that's at Chris.T. Anderson. That's my Instagram handle. So reach out, send me a message there. Check out the podcast, Pencil Leadership, or head to my website, pencilleadership.com.
Great. So thank you so much, Chris, for showing up on our show. Who Are You? We were glad to have you. We've really learned a lot. And I think the pencil leadership is going to do great, because it is really adding value. It is taking a small thing to show how big it can grow when somebody is persisting, when somebody is interested, and when somebody really wants the things that they desire and the things that they are focusing on, the purpose, fulfilling those purposes. So we have a couple of people who have been watching with us. We have Violet Onari. She is watching from Germany, Munich. We have Florence Nisabwe. She's watching from Burundi. We have Cherie Smith. Great points. They're all enjoyed your information.
Thank you, guys.
Out of it. And so we really enjoyed your discussion, your conversation, and we are looking forward to see more of what you're doing. Exactly like he said, you can get in contact with him. I have put out the Linktree address where you can click and you will find all his addresses, and you can get to, work with him. You can get to see what pencil leadership is all about, and take what will benefit you, learn from it, join his groups, and know and grow as he grew and how he helped so many people to grow. So thank you very much. Next week, we will be here as from Thursday. We have great stories from Africa and States and everywhere. So just join in with us, same time, same place. This is your show. Who Are You? I am your host, Dr. Leah, and our guest today was Chris Aderson. And with that, we say, stay blessed, keep safe, protect yourself. We want to start living normal as much as possible. When we adhere to the disciplines and the measures that have been put out for us, we will be able to go back into the normal life, because then we will be reducing the spread of the pandemic COVID. So thank you very much. And until next week, have a good day. Okay.